Right, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this video in which I will be talking about four different ways four paths that you can take in order to make money in dance or make money through dance. Okay, so basically four ways in which you can monetize dance. And I got the idea uh, from YouTube. You know how you can monetize your content on YouTube? It's like, what if you could dance whatever it is that you know or can do in dance? So we're going to look at four different ways. It's actually three main ways, okay, that I think most people know either consciously or subconsciously. And then there's one bonus one, which I think is going to be very interesting to you, especially if you have been down that road whereby you've been asked to dance for free and then you actually did and you weren't exactly happy about it. You might understand a bit more at the end of this video why that was even possible. Okay, right. So in the last video, I was taking a deeper dive into a quote that I posted on Instagram. And as I was explaining that quote, somewhere down the line, I just briefly mentioned in passing um, this whole concept of monetizing dance. So, and then I actually said to myself, I think one day in one video, I'm going to talk just about monetizing dance. Because I think this is actually very beneficial to anyone who wants to make money in dance. And I've seen so many people, I've come across so many people, I don't know if it's true or not, or maybe they're just telling me just to make it look like they're struggling when they're actually not. Saying that because I've done it before, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. When I ask them like, how's it going, how's the dance thing going, they're like, my one, what try. A translation for that is just it's tough times, but we're just getting by, we're just doing what we can, but it's really tough. um, and yeah, I just realized for some people, I've had it way easier than other people. Not because I'm better than them in a lot of cases, but because I'm more aware of something that they might not be aware of. It's something I've been thinking about recently. And I've been discussing with my good friend Maloizi. So Maloizi, shout out to you because he's also having these kind of discussions these days now. And I thought, let me actually have a sit and talk about this. I can do it on a video. I would prefer doing this in person with my fellow dancers, but I think this would be quicker and much easier. So I'll just send the dancers this link, and they can watch it. Then they can let me know what they think, and if they disagree with something that I've said, I'm like all ears because I know what I say might not be 100% true. There's a 50% chance that I might be wrong on some of this information. But for the most part, from what I've seen, it has been true for like the last 4 years, so at least after I've started observing these things. So anyway, enough ranting. So four ways, four ways in which you can monetize dance, and I think this will be beneficial. This will be also helpful to not just people, my fellow dancers in Zim, because I'm in Zim right now. Not just dancers in Zim, but even dancers globally. If you're out there and if you see something, if I say something that you have an opinion on, feel free to post in the comment section. I'm open to hear what you have to say as well. But yeah, it might be easier in your case if you're in a country that supports artists and supports the arts industry way more than Zim does. Because from the looks of things here in Zim, it's not really, you know, a viable part to take. Okay, from the looks of things and from the talks that people have on the streets, from the talks that people have in their homes. Yeesh, yeah, we all know that vibe. Okay, yeah, I talk too much. Okay, so first way of monetizing dance is the obvious way, the dancer's way. Okay, so if you're a dancer, you can make money by dancing, right? You get called for a gig, and then they tell you, okay, we're going to pay you $50, we're going to pay you $100, whatever it is that they're going to pay you. You make money from that. So yeah, that's the most straightforward way to to make money in dance. Apart from performances, if it's not a gig like a music video or a stage performance or a wedding, like gigs, like you get called to do maybe like a sangura dance or something like that, or get called to do a amapiano dance with your group, and then they tell you we're going to pay you as like guest performers. Another way to do it is like competition. So people go for like competition dance battles, 1v1, two versus twos, group battles as well. They don't happen that often in Zim as much as they used to from the looks of things. I wasn't around back in the day when it was really firing, so I don't know. And I'm not down that path these days. So I wouldn't know if there's competitions that are happening right now that I'm not aware of. But from what it seems, there's not much competition happening now. But that is another way to make money off dance. The problem with that is you're working at the bare at the like the entry level of making money. So whatever money you're going to make is most likely going to be limited, and because people have leverage over you, okay, which I have time to explain this. Okay, the whole idea of leverage. Okay, but basically someone has a say over you. Okay, so the more if you're a dancer, there's a lot more people that have a say over you, or there's a lot more people that are higher than you in whatever project it is or whatever gig that you're working on. Uh, so yeah, you have little say in the amount of money that you're gonna make. You have little power over whatever it is that you're gonna say. But there is a way to break that, which I might or might not explain later in this video. Um, so yeah, that's one problem with that. The another problem is that being a dancer takes time. So if you are in a rehearsal, you cannot be anywhere else. So you have to commit to just that one thing. If you're in a performance, you can only be in one performance. It would have been much easier for us as dancers if we could perform in 5 different places all at the same time. Like from 4 to 5, you're performing in 5 different places in 5 different cities. I'm not talking about like the you performing here, then the next few minutes you go next door, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like in broader terms. If that were possible, I'm gonna just close it. Just close these windows a bit because there's so much noise coming in from outside. Okay, if that were possible, then it would have been so much easier to make money as a dancer. But now you have to commit to one thing, and if that one thing doesn't work out, yeesh, yeah. Then you know how sometimes they tell you that I'm going to pay you this amount of money. Like companies tell you, or people that are running gigs tell you, you're going to pay this amount of money, and then say, yeah, you agree to that. Then after the show, can't get the person. Okay, you try calling them, phone not available. Maybe the phone is ringing, and then they yeah. So that's a downside about being a dancer, all right? But yes, that will be the entry level to making money as a dancer, all right? Second way to monetize dance is being a teacher or an instructor. So now you're no longer just dancing; you are teaching. You're teaching classes. Um, yeah, you're teaching classes, or you are like an instructor for like a group or something like that. So yeah, and you're giving them like advice or like more like their guide, whatever it is, but it's something along the lines of teaching, right? So the good thing about teaching is that it doesn't demand as much work as being on stage. Okay, so when you're a teacher, you use more of your mind a lot. At least that's what I do because I'm a dance teacher mostly. You use more of your mind than you actually use your body, right? So, and the other advantage about this over being a dancer is that you can teach in different places. And once you get, let's say, for example, you get a school or you get a studio, whatever it is, but I think let's use a school as an example. You get a school to teach in, that will now become like your monthly recurring revenue. Okay. So that means that if you start teaching at, let's say, what school can I pick on? St. John's, yeah. Let's say you start teaching dance at St. John's College, okay, the secondary school, right? That means that you start teaching today, you're going to keep on teaching for the rest of the year, and then you teach next year. So the money just keeps coming in, and they pay you depending on whatever it is that you discuss. They pay you monthly, or they pay you weekly, or they pay you per class. Or they pay you like per term, whatever it is that you're doing. It's money, so you only have to get a client once, and then that client keeps paying you over and over and over again, and you barely have to like negotiate again and again. The other downside about being a dancer as opposed to being a teacher is that when you're a dancer, you work it from gig to gig, and gig don't always come. So the way the industry works, that gigs mostly come, a lot of them mostly come like towards like special occasion, special days like Christmas, New Year's, Heroes Day, Easter, those kinds of holidays, or this big event or something happening nationally that's big. Yeah. So and yeah, you then your revenue is now tied to like someone else's calendar. Let's say if you're dancing for mm, like an artist, yeah. Let's say you're dancing for like a music artist. If the artist is not performing, if they decide, I want to go on vacation, I just want to like relax for like three months straight, and your only source of income was that, then you're in trouble because for 3 months you're not going to have any money coming in. So that's the downside about being a dancer. Okay. Um, so yeah, so the when you're coming back to the teaching side of it, you only have to work with the client once, and then they pay you over and over again. Downside of that is that if it's a school, then on holiday they close, so you're not getting any money from the holiday. But yeah, it is a much more easier route to take. But let me say this: not everyone has the ability to teach. Okay, so a lot of the times people know that it's easier to make money in classes, but if you don't have the ability, then it's actually the other way around for you. So you might make money much easier when you're just dancing as opposed to when you're teaching. Okay, right? Because you might get a teaching gig and then yeah, you teach here and there, but then what you're doing is that you're negatively building your brand. So people notice that this person is a very bad teacher. So now you get bad reviews, and eventually that school or that studio or wherever it is that you're working for is going to cut you off. You're like, you know what? Maybe we should get another teacher. Okay. So if you do not have the ability to take complex things and break them down into simple terms that anyone can understand, I do not recommend that you go down, that you go up from being a dancer to being a dance teacher. So yeah, just clarifying that out. Okay. Then the downside about being a dance teacher is that since, like I said, you use your mind more than your body, and dance requires you to use your body a whole lot. This is something that I've fallen victim to, in that I started teaching a whole lot more and started focusing on my teaching career as opposed to like my dance performances. And what that eventually did, I didn't even notice it was doing that. It was taking away from my ability to actually dance myself, to execute movements. I wasn't training as much as I should have, right? So when I went back into performing, I started getting tired much quicker. Fatigue was coming much more easily, and even my vocabulary, like especially if you're teaching kids, that's a very risky part to take. If you're teaching kids, that means that you have to break down movements. You have to give them the very simple movements. Okay, you can't teach you can't expect a 4-year old to learn let's say if it's ballet, I can't expect them to learn um, what's a complex seesaw and double or something like that. Okay, if it's hip hop, yeah, you could start teaching them, but you wouldn't generally expect them to get into like the whole breaking, unless they're like very talented. But like the whole, those 6 steps, 8 steps up, 6 steps, 9 step, uh, those groundbreaking movements, groundbreaking, ground groundbreaking movements, break dancing movements. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Groundbreaking. What did I get that from? Okay, so if you're teaching kids, like the part that I went down, eventually over time you're going to be taking away from your dancing if you're not training enough, if you're not putting enough time to training yourself. So if you're going to be a dance teacher, provided that you're good enough to actually break down complex things into simple things, be very careful about where you divide your time to. Make sure you leave some time for yourself to keep yourself trained as a dancer. Okay, it's just generally good because you have to be a good. It would be very advantageous to you to be a good dancer and then a good teacher. Okay, it's very troublesome if you're a good teacher then you're a bad dancer. Okay, yeah, you might break down things, yes, but if you at least don't have the ability to understand dance, I could cringe at that. Okay. So that's the teacher's part. Okay, so we've got dancer and we've got teacher, we've got the upsides and the downsides of that. Then we've got the choreographer. Okay, now, so I like what one of my past instructors said. His name is Victor Peturo. So shout out to say Victor for sharing this. And he was just sharing this to us as a group, but it stuck to me the moment he said that. He said there's a difference between being a dancer, being a choreographer, and being an instructor or slash teacher in this case. Okay. I started thinking, that makes sense, but what really is the difference? So yeah, as we're talking about the different ways to make money, you're getting an idea of why they're different. So now a choreographer is someone who actually choreographs dances, like puts routines together and comes up with this like grand concept to put like on a stage or in a music video or in like a short film or in like a film for that matter. Okay, so that's a choreographer. uh, a choreographer has leverage over a dancer in that as a choreographer, you generally unite people and you get them to do things at a certain way in a certain time, certain directions, and so on. You give them directions and yeah, basically you'll be working more than the dancer. When it comes to, I'm talking about mental work, that is, like, you're thinking more than the dancer, because you think, okay, that person in that corner there has to do this movement in this direction, that person there has to do that movement in this direction, and then you have to constantly running it over and over again, and you have to watch the people that are in front to see what they're doing, and then you have to see all these things at once to see how the audience is going to take it in before you invite the audience in. So as a choreographer, mentally you're working much more than the dancer, which is why choreographers are usually like a level up from dancers. So that having said, that would basically stand to reason that choreographers should actually be getting paid more than the dancers. Okay, so I don't know what your opinion is on that, but that's my honest opinion. As a choreographer, if you're getting paid the same amount as a dancer, there's something wrong. Okay, so that's really my take on it. Um, but yeah, it can get very tricky though, uh, because if the dancer is smarter than you, would I? Okay, if I say, let me not put it that way, because if I explain the story, it will give an impression that I don't want to give. Okay, but if the dancer has played the numbers game a bit better than the choreographer, the dancer might actually make more money than the choreographer. I'll tell you a short story. Okay, so this is also another way you can break out of the thing, as you can stay as a dancer, but you can make more money as a than a choreographer. There's a gig that I once had, like a performance gig that I once had as a dancer. Those are the days when I hadn't started my teaching career, and I was just a dancer in a certain company, uh, and I'm not going to mention the name of that company. And then there were choreographers that were already putting their pieces together for this production, for like this series of performances. Okay, so what the company did is that they were saying, okay, so each dancer is going to get paid X amount, $50 per performance. Okay, and yeah, at that time it was like, okay, it was good money to me because I just started my career. Today you are not going to pay me $50 per perform. I'm telling you that. Um, so I was like, okay, this is good money for pieces. If I perform in one piece, that means I get $50. Okay. And because of the way I'd been working, I was basically that person that's basically involved in most, if not every single piece in per production in that company. Okay. So I was already in 6 of those pieces, right? 6 of the pieces that were going to be put into that production, right? The choreographers, I think they were getting paid between 200 and 250, I think. And I can't remember if it was per choreography or just for the sake of coming in and you choreographing something or automatically fixed figure. You're getting paid 250 or 200. But let's say for argument's sake, they're getting paid 250. Yeah. So choreographers getting paid 250, but these were different choreographers for different pieces, obviously. But I happened to be in 6 different pieces. So what does that mean? 50 times 6, that's 300. So now I actually got paid more than a choreographer. So I found that very fascinating. And yeah, people kind of started speaking out against it, like, this is not right, this is not right. But then, yeah, I played a different numbers game and I played a good game. Yeah. Okay. Right. So the reason why you see me in a different room is because when I was in the middle of shooting that video, my phone switched off. Apparently it overheated, and then yeah, I finished the rest of the video. I talked about all the other things, and then I checked my phone and I see my phone screen is off. I'm like, that's not what's supposed to be happening. I'm supposed to be seeing a screen recording or something like that. And then I checked the video and it only recorded 19 minutes, and yeah, here we are again. So I had to go into an actual room because I was in my car, and because I closed the windows. Remember the time I closed the windows? Yeah, the room kind of got the inside of the car kind of got hot, and then my phone started overheating, and then it just shut down all applications, including my camera. So yeah, so that's why I'm in a different room. Same thing happened in my previous video, but I didn't explain what had happened. It was like change of rooms. But yeah, here we are. Let's carry on. So I was talking about this story in which I made more than the choreographer. I was the dancer and I made more than the choreographer, which I found quite fascinating. Like, okay, I made more. But then here's the thing though, okay? I made $50 to $100 more than the choreographer, yes, but I had to work harder than the choreographer, okay? So yeah, you can make more money than a choreographer if you play your numbers game a different way. Because I was in more um, performances, I was in more of the pieces, whereas a choreographer probably had two or one, just one piece. Let's say, for example, for argument's sake, this choreographers are getting paid $200, right, per choreography, and there were six choreographers, right? So this choreographer obviously only had one choreography, which means he was going to get paid $200, and then since I was in all six pieces, I ended up getting paid $300, which meant that I made $100 more than the choreographer. Yes, but then on the flip side now, as a dancer, I actually worked much harder than the choreographer. Okay, I'm talking physically, not mentally. Okay, so I have to put up within like all these pieces, and this production was like a 3 day production, so I was performing three times. Okay, so yeah, you can imagine I'm performing three times. This choreographer only had to choreograph once, and then just make the $200. So I would think that maybe the choreographer, in a way, actually made more money than me still. Okay, because he's operating at a higher level of value than me as a dancer. Okay, so the just to add a more layer add a layer of clarification in terms of why dancers probably make the least amount of money in dance. We're operating as a dancer. You're operating in what Myron Golden refers to as the implementation level, because there's four levels of value. I think I'll go check out the. He's probably done more than one video on that by now, but I'll put it in the link so you can go check out. Just see it from a business perspective, and then come back and put it into dance. You find it very interesting. So I'm just combining what I already know with what I have heard and have learned so far over time. So dancers are in the implementation level of value, which is you actually the one doing the thing. Okay, and then the next level of value is like unification. Okay, so that's where you're actually unifying people, you're bringing people together to do a certain thing. It's like a managerial position, right? So that would be like the choreographer. Okay, you're managing the dancers, you're making sure that they're doing this dancers, the role of this dancer is to do this way, the role of this dancer is to bring in this piece of prop on this one, then he has to do a certain movement. As he does that, then he probably joins it to like a duet. uh yeah so um so we only have to work once. Like you do the choreography, and then you can just apply that choreography to like a festival, then another production, then another this and that. And you apply parts of it to like a music video or a promotion video or an ad, whatever it is. And then yeah, as a choreographer, you just make the money. Yeah. But then as a dancer, you keep having to do it over and over again. You have to be the one that's on the screen, unless you're that kind of choreographer that's also with the dancers, which is a different story. But for the sake of this video, let's pretend the choreographer isn't actually involved, doesn't actually go on the stage. He just gets the dancers and then, yeah, teaches. Uh, so, something else I mentioned before my phone cut, but I'll end up just digressing. So maybe I'll do that in another video. But long story short, just an aside, the role of a dancer is obviously to implement whatever it is that he's told to do or whatever it is that he signed up to do. Okay, so if you have a teacher in front of you or a choreographer in front of you, you have to do what they tell you to do, right? So yeah, it's more or less for the most part. I'm not saying all the time, because obviously sometimes you just dance by yourself. You're your own man, okay? But a lot of the times it's the teacher that tells you what to do, or the choreographer or the director that tells you what to do, and then you have to follow through in order for you to make your money. Okay, the teacher's role is to bring the dancer up from from like foundational level to like an advanced level. Okay, so the teacher actually takes you from where you are. Let's say you don't know how to dance, or you know a little bit about dance, or you know less than you thought you knew. Different story for different day. uh, yeah, the teacher will bring you up, teaches you different things, teaches you things like dynamics, stretches, how to warm up, how to train your strength, what it is that you're supposed to do with your diet. Yeah, all these different kinds of things. Etiquette, when you walk into a class, what do you do? What are you supposed to wear in your class? Your teacher tells you all those things. But now a choreographer, the role of a choreographer is just to take the dancers that are already groomed by the teacher, and we just go. That's ideally how it's supposed to work. Okay. Okay, so just an aside. I'm not going to explain how that goes and why that is, but just an aside, bonus. Now, coming to the fourth part, because I did say so. We have the three, which are the main ones that people, I'm sure a lot of dancers are aware of, which is you either a dancer or you're a dance teacher or you are a choreographer. Now, the fourth one is one whereby you don't actually need to know how to dance in order to make money in the dance industry. Okay. Plain example, you are good at sales, or you're good at marketing, or you're good at admin work, right? Or you're good at accounting. So what you do is that you apply for a job in a dance company. Okay, obviously the dance company makes money through dance. You work for that company, they give you some of the money from whatever it is that they're working on long term, right? So they say they give you a contract of over 10 years, over 5 years. Now, just like that, you're making money, you're doing your thing, you're using your skill, but you're providing a dance company. Or you can do that if, like, say, you can do that for an individual if the individual is big enough. Maybe you are a marketer for a certain dancer, or maybe you're a salesperson for that dancer. You're the one that makes the sales for the dancer, or you're in charge of the social media for that dancer. There's a lot of people that are making money through social media. They might run social media pages for dance companies, dance studios, individuals, is all that have made a name and that can afford to pay what's it called, social media people, right? So that's the idea. So basically, you don't know how to dance, but you're making money through dance. Obviously, at some point, it would be beneficial if you know one or two things about dance. So for example, especially if you like working in the social media area, you can't you you're going to be posting things that are irrelevant to dance if you don't know something about dance. So if you might have to be following the trends, and then in the caption for that person that you're posting for, now okay, you're doing this and that. Okay, I'm gonna put this caption that's relatable to whatever challenge that's going on right now, whatever challenge that's trending. Otherwise, if you don't know about that challenge, okay, let's say the dancer records a video and then it's the challenge, but then the dancer doesn't tell you what challenge that is. You're just gonna post, and then you haven't done your search engine optimizations and so on and all of that. So yeah, just like that, you can actually use your skill to help someone or a group of people in the dance industry, yet you don't dance yourself, but you are making money from dance, right? So yeah, that's how it goes. So I would say the fourth, let's say for lack of a better umbrella term for that, let's say the non-dancer entrepreneur. Okay, so you are using your skills and you're taking them into the dance market, and then from the dance market, you're getting your profits. Okay. Um, right. Another way that people make money through dance, another way that you could also make money through dance, okay, is investing in dance. So you could actually put money into, let's say there's a group of people that are building a dance company, but they just don't have enough money to, like, get the stuff that they need in the studio, or get the floor done, or get the mirrors into the studio. So what you could do is that you could invest into the dance company, and I'm talking about investing, not sponsoring. I think those are different things. When you're investing, you're putting money into something, and then you're putting money into something so that you get a return on that investment, which is supposed to be more than whatever it is that you put in. So if you put $5 into something and you're supposed to get 10, that's an investment. Then when you get your 10, then you've made $5 profit. That's your return on investment, basically. Okay. Um, so yeah, there's people, but then to do that, or maybe you could actually be the one starting the dance company. Okay, so you're funding literally everything. Okay, and then you're just getting the people into the position, getting the dance teachers, getting the dancers themselves into the company. Then you're getting the administrative side of the things. You're getting the CEOs, the COOs, the whatever it is that a company needs to run. Okay, and yeah, you invest into that company, and then over time you tell them, okay, these are my terms. I want to have X amount. You're supposed to work towards X amount of money by the end of the year, by the end of the 10 years, by the end of the 5 years. So yeah, so now all you'll be doing is just, and then maybe you might sell it out to other people as well, so that they have shares if you feel like your money is not enough. So yeah, and then you end up getting dividends from, like, monthly shares or whatever it is, however you set it up. Okay. So yeah, that's another way you could make money through dance, but that usually usually most of the time you would need a lot of capital in order to make money like that. And it's more like a long-term game, and you might need to have a lot more patience than in other areas. Unless you have like a whole lot of money and people that are really willing, okay, then you can do it a bit quicker. Just depends on your situation. So yeah, I think I guess that would be the downside of it. In that, and I'm not talking when I'm talking about capital, I'm not talking about like $5, $100, $1,000. It could even be like $10,000 or something like that. Is the thing about building materials, is thinking about the people that are also going to need to get paid when the company starts, and also the people that need to get paid that need to get paid as they're building the company or the premises of the company. So yeah, that if you don't have like $10,000 sitting around with you, then yes, obviously it'll be a bit tricky for you. You might need to look at the other three ways, unless you have um, creativity and imagination on your side. Okay, so maybe you work out a deal. Maybe you don't have the money right now. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they really go big, when they really go proactive, is that they actually talk to other people who do have the money. They tell them, okay, this is my vision, this and that. This is how you can make your money. So now they use other people's money to build money for themselves and the person that they got the money from. Okay, so now it's a win-win deal. Okay, so you're winning, the investor's winning, and also the people that are in the company are winning. So you own the company, but then the investor has shares in the company. So it's like a whole different game. So for that, you might not even need to have money for that. You can even talk to a bank to do that. I haven't done it myself, so I can't give you much. And I don't know anyone personally who has done it, although I've heard many people from the people that I learned business from, they have talked about this kind of principle. So if you want to try that, go for it. Just make sure that you tie out loose ends, and yeah, don't leave any. Just make sure you can manage the risk, because there is risk to it. You can lose all of that $10,000. You can very much lose it. So make sure you manage your risk. You don't need to avoid it, just manage it to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. Um, so when it comes to the non dancer entrepreneur side or part of making money through dance, my only problem and worry about that is the kind of character that's stepping into that part. Okay, so let's say for example you are into accounting, and then you start working for a company. Okay, so obviously as an accountant you're supposed to like you have an involvement in like the cash flow of things. You're supposed to make sure that some of the profits from whatever production that the company you're working for is doing, some of the money goes to the shareholders, some of the money goes to the other people in the admin areas, the admin, the directors, people that are more like the higher ups. Then some of the money goes to the choreographer, some of the money goes lastly to the dancers. Okay, but now sometimes accountants are also still humans, okay? But sometimes they might make mistakes. And now, depending on the character of this accountant, okay, right? You might make a mistake, and then in order to fix that mistake, you say that okay, I'm going to make sure that the dancers don't get their money, so that the choreographers all get the money that they were supposed to get, that we told them that they're going to make. So now it becomes like a tricky situation now. So now when the dancers are calling in, and then they say that, where's our money? Where's our money? You promised us, to giving us $500, $100 to do this gig, but now what's happened to the money? Then all you're just hearing is stories, the stories, the stories, the stories. So if you're going to go down that path, please be a man or woman of integrity. Please be a man or woman of character, good character, who has people's interests at heart. And yeah, because that now gives birth to like this whole exploitation kind of thing. Also, not just the accountants, okay, even the people that are like that have a say in terms of how the money moves, okay. So people that have built maybe not a company but a platform. Let's say they have a stage where they host festivals. Maybe one of the festivals is now like dance, okay, or maybe the main festivals that you host are dance festivals, right? And you had the money to build this huge stage. Yeah, and then now you just say, okay, these guys are renting this stage from me. There's these production guys or something like that, and then you have let's say you have like a mini event, and you are also hosting this event, right? You built the thing, but then you're also hosting the event, and you're saying, okay, this is what I've done. I'm gonna get dancers to come through for this thing. I'm gonna get dance companies, dance groups to come through to this event. Um, so now this is more like towards the business side of things. What then happens is because some, I'm not saying all, but some of the business guys know the whole idea of offering value first with no charge so that people know about what it is that you have on offer, whether it's a service or it's a product. Okay. So in the dancer's case, let's say um, if you're a dancer, you can actually go to a company or a promoter, and then you say, I'm a dancer. I'm still building, especially if you're in your first days and you don't have enough people that are aware of your name. You haven't made enough of a name in the industry. And then you say, I'm good at this and that. I heard you're doing this event. I want to work with you and I want to show you what I've got. I can come through to you and I can dance at this event for free, just so that you can see what I'm capable of. Yes, I did say it, my fellow dancers, I said dance for free. Okay, just so you can see what I'm capable of. Okay, but now here's the thing now. What you want to do when you're doing that is that you want to establish like a long-term relationship with the person. Okay, anyway, I'm digressing a bit. Coming back to the idea. So business people know that it's actually beneficial if you offer people some of your value for free, so that they just know they have the experience of what it is that you have on offer for them. Then when they come back the next time, now they're willing to buy. Now they're willing to pay whatever it is, or it's a service, it's a product. Now they're willing to pay. So now you're the host, right? This non dancer entrepreneur. Okay, you're the host. You don't know anything about dance, but you're hosting this event. You bring in the dancers together, and then you say, okay, I want to cut down on my costs. And then you go to the dancer now, or a dance group, and you say, you guys are still young. You guys are still like, you're not known. You're only known in your hood. Do you want to go more? I can give you guys exposure. Okay, so I have a bigger platform than what it is that you're performing on. I can put you on the stage. I mean, you may never know who you meet. Eh? We get these kinds of talks, and then you tell them, okay, so come through. You guys will be exposed. Where that gets tricky is that a lot of us dancers, okay, especially when we're starting, we don't know that there already is money involved in these things. Okay. So now we're giving our time and our services and our expertise to this person for free because we're looking for exposure, because we're not aware of this information, like what I'm sharing with you now, ways of monetizing dance. Dancers don't know how to, some dancers don't know how to monetize dance. Like they don't put much thought into monetizing dance. Yeah, it's good when you're dancing like out of your passion and so on, but sometimes a lot of the times you want it to pay off as well. And yeah, I get hurt because I've also been in that position where I was asked to dance for free and I actually did it. So I was saying at the beginning of the video, it makes sense why that was possible. So I would rather you are the dancer, as I was explaining earlier, you are the dancer and you already know these things. Okay, you already know that I am valuable as a dancer. I'm good at what I do. Okay, and I deserve to get paid. Right. But now I haven't built a name for myself. So I can just say I'm a good dancer and I tell you, okay, so you're supposed to pay me $100 for doing this performance. Okay. But this person doesn't even know you, is asked around other people don't even know you. So like, why can't I just go to someone else and get them and pay them? Maybe there's someone that has already built their name and they're actually charging $50. Okay, so why not go to them? And these are people that I already know. So this is the non-dancer entrepreneur, the host that's talking. Like I would rather, instead of paying you $100 for what I don't know you're gonna do, let me go to the person I already know, the person, my buddy, who I'm gonna pay $50, or maybe he charges $100. I just pay him 50 now, pay 50 later, or whatever it is. And yeah, now that so if that doesn't happen properly, what then happens is that instead of a value exchange, now we have exploitation going on. So dancers will need to be aware of what's happening. Okay, when people come to us and then they're offering us exposure. Okay, what you'd rather say, because a lot of the times the people don't have enough money to actually pay you whatever it is that you're charging. So what you then say is, okay, instead of you guys paying me, what if you have a counter offer, and then let's work with that. Okay, so let's say you charge a company or an organization or someone a certain amount, and then they don't have that amount. Okay, so because usually what they do, let's say it happens in Zim a whole lot. Let's say you charge whatever it is that your price is. Okay, for let's use dance performance as an example. Okay, you charge $100, okay, for a performance. I'm talking about the actual performance. Actually, no, let me not break that down. Okay, depending on how you charge. your dance performance is $100. Okay, I'm not saying it is, just giving an example. And yeah, the company has asked you how much is it to get you to come and do this for us, this event. We want a dance performance. You say $100, and then they say $100 is a bit too steep. We can't pay that. Then they start negotiating with you now. They say, okay, can we pay you what we actually had was like $30, and then you start negotiating with them, and then what usually happens that you say, okay, 50, okay, let's bring it down to $50, give them a discount, right? Say, okay, let's meet halfway, maybe we can do 70, maybe we can do 50. And then you end up doing the performance for $50. Okay? Instead, what you could do is get creative, right? So now you say, okay, you don't have $100. What is it that you can offer me that is worth $100 for me to say yes? Okay. Obviously, maybe there will be money that needs to be involved. So that if you're not mobile, you need money for like food. If they're not providing food, you need money for like transport and etc. etc. Maybe you charge for costumes as well. I don't know, depending on how you charge. Okay, so sometimes yeah, you do need some of the money to cater for that. But then when they say that, okay, we can pay you $50, but we can't pay the other 50, you ask them, okay, let's say you pay me $50. What else can you offer that's worth $50 in terms of value, so that I can say yes to coming to you to perform. So maybe they have a service. This company that you're working for has a service that you actually need, and maybe they're charging $50 for that service. So you say, okay, so you do that for me instead, because basically they would have given you $100, then you pay them $50 to get that service. So there's no need for that cash to actually flow. You just exchange value. Okay, and that's what it is. So all of our business transactions are just an exchange of value. Okay, right? So sometimes it's monetary value, just you transfer money, or sometimes you can do like I'm gonna do this for you so that you do this for me. Okay, so now it's like value exchange. Just you just exchanging services. Okay, so yeah, this is my encouragement for dancers. Another side that we get creative. Okay, not just in our bodies, because as artists, as dance artists, we are creative in our bodies, but now a lot of the times we think we only are limited to what's happening in the body. We never think about what's happening in here. So yeah, get creative. Even with your pricing, get creative. It doesn't always have to be that someone's paying you $100, $200, $500 for a gig. If they don't have that amount of money at that time and they want to negotiate with you, instead of just saying yes to all those discounts, you can now say, okay, give me a reasonable counter so that I can say yes. Let's see how we can work together. I'll give you another example. Recently someone approached me and then they said they want to do like a music video, like a hip hop kind of video, like it's going to be spontaneous, going to be on a Friday night. I was like, okay, fine, I can do that, but two things. I'm more focused on teaching these days. I'm not really into music videos that much anymore. That's number one. Two, Fridays, I actually have classes on Fridays, so I might not be around on Fridays, especially like late afternoon. So if I can't do that, if I'm not able to commit, instead of letting you down and giving you fake promises, I am more than happy to share this opportunity with my um, fellow dancers in the industry. I know people who do music videos anyway. It just may be different pricing, but talk to them; they'll be willing to work with you. But anyway, let me take your contact. So I told them, let me take your contact so that if I'm not able to commit, I'll refer you to someone else. Right? I'm like, okay, cool. So he gave me his business card, and guess what? On the business card, I read the back of it, and it said that okay, I'm actually into marketing, etc., etc. And I realized, oh, okay, for me to get to where I want to get to financially, one area that I need to improve on, which I'm aware of now, is marketing. Okay, creating a demand for what I have on offer, right, in the marketplace. So I was like, okay, if you do that, if you're more like on a professional level in terms of that, I'm really willing to pay someone to help me with that, so that from whoever they bring in, I pay this person some of that money. So already I was thinking, okay, we haven't discussed the music video yet, and so we haven't discussed prices yet, because he's still working out something else. But when you get to that stage, if I give him my price and he says that I don't have this amount of money, what I don't have this amount of money, so maybe it's not going to work. What I'm then going to say to him is that okay, what do you charge when you're doing your marketing services? Okay, um, let's say for argument's sake, I charge. I'm not saying this is the amount that I charge. Let's say I charge $200 for the music video, right? And then he says that I don't have $200 to pay you to do this thing for me. I actually only have $100. And I ask him, okay, in terms of your marketing, you're into marketing already, okay? How much do you charge for consultancy for like marketing? Then maybe he says I charge $100 per month. Okay, so then what I didn't tell him is that, okay, so either you can pay me $100 and then you give me 1 month of consultancy in terms of marketing so you can help me improve my marketing and create more of a demand in the marketplace for what I have on offer as a dance teacher. Or you can actually not pay me any of the $100, but instead you give me 2 months, because 2 months would be $200 total. Okay, so now basically what you've done is I've given you value and you've given me value. Okay, so it's a value exchange. He's good at something that I'm not good at. I'm good at something that he's not good at. So now this way it's a win-win for both of us. He's got his music video. I've got my clients. Win-win situation for both of us. No need for money to flow in. But I actually did make $200, even though there was no hard cash $200 that was on the table that came into my wallet or into my bank account. I still got that same amount of value. Okay, so dancers, dance teachers, choreographers, let's get creative. Okay, not just in our bodies but also in our minds. If you do that, I'm telling you, you will boost um, the amount of money that you actually make, okay, or the amount of value that you actually provide. And yeah, a lot of the times, eventually down the line, you end up getting things that help you in terms of getting the hard cash part of it. And if you're looking for just the hard cash, yeah. Okay, so I think we'll end it there. Otherwise, I end up talking too much. So you've got the dancer, you've got the dance teacher, you've got the choreographer, and then you've got the non-dancer entrepreneur. Okay, so those are the 4 ways. Those are four of some of the ways, because I know there's probably way more. Some of the ways in which you can make dance in the dance industry. Okay, the first three, you have to have some kind of dance ability in your body. Okay, and then the fourth one, you don't necessarily have to be a dancer. Okay, but yeah, I think it'll be beneficial if you know at least one or two things about dance for both you and the people you're serving. Okay, yeah, that's me done. Okay, I hope you've been getting value from this content. I'll share this link to my friend who was asking me, who was saying rain, which is, if I were to translate it, is basically just saying, um, these rains, these people like rain, they just make money and then they just enjoy it by themselves. So if for anyone who doesn't speak Shona, that's what he meant. I was like, no, you should come through and let's have a discussion on these things. Sometimes I have calls with my Louise about these things, just here and there. Sometimes we sit down when we meet up and then we have talks about this. So yeah, and I learn from him, he learns from me, and it's a nice exchange. And then we improve. We learn from each other. Okay, so with my friend, unfortunately, because of the way things are happening right now, I won't be able to give time to like just sit down and chat with him, because while I'm free, he'll be busy. While he's free, I'll be busy. So decided, let me do this video because it'll be beneficial not just to him, but even other people that have this same vision as well, to make money in dance. But just to clarify, this person was perceiving that I was making a lot of money, but to me, it just really doesn't feel like a lot. Like in terms of when I compare it to where my financial vision is, I'm not I'm not anywhere near enough. Um, I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be. I'm not even halfway right now. But I am working with people that are helping me now, and I'm sharing some of the stuff with you guys as well, because I've learned some of the things that I don't think that dancers are consciously aware of. That I think, and I think it will be beneficial to them. So yeah, here's me sharing some of that info with them, and for all I know, it comes back to that video that I did before about the power of perspective. His perspective of me is that I'm making a lot of money, but my perspective is that I'm not making anywhere near enough of the money that I know I deserve to be making, and I know I need to be making. In another case, the way he said it is as if it's implying that he's not making the same money that I'm making. But for all we know, he's actually making more money than I'm making. So who knows? But it would be happy vibes if all of us as dancers doubled our income. Okay, and yeah, so that's part of the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys. Okay, so my friend, let me know what you think in the comment section. And my fellow Zim dancers, I know you guys have thoughts on this. Please do let me know what you think so I can learn from you as well, okay? Because I know that some of this information might be false, and one of you guys or two of you guys might reveal this to me, and I might learn it again. So when I come back and do a video in terms of monetizing dance, I'll have better clarification on that as well. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. Don't just throw opinions. Don't just say, this and that, this guy's talking rubbish, whatever, whatever. Let's have a discussion about it. Okay, because it'll be beneficial to both of us. Okay, don't just come with a closed statement and say that this is rubbish, this and that. Okay, right? I've actually taken time into doing research on these things. So I'm not just throwing out information there. Okay, it's not written down in front of me, but this is information that I've tapped into over the past few years. Okay, emphasis on years, right? So yeah, let's talk, guys. Let's talk, and then share it with other people that are going to benefit from this. Anyone else that's out of Zim? Any dancers? Any people that want to make money in dance industry that are out of Zim? Let me know what you think as well. If you're from Zim, if you're not from Zim, just let me know what you think and how this applies to your economy as well. Let me know how things are going there. And yeah, as dancers, let's monetize our skills, our knowledge, and our ability. This is Range Aggravate, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.